Yo, 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 yo. What up, Comic Sense crowd, community crowd, crew, 3C family? We are back again with another episode of CSP. It's been a while. We back in the house. Comic Sensory Perception, CSP. We got the homie Sam Ferrado in the house. We're gonna bring in Sam. Let Sam say something to the people. Then we're gonna get into it. Shout out to everyone that's in the room. Let's bring in Sam. So, like I said, we got the homie Sam Ferrado in the house. It's been a minute. Sam is gonna shout out to the people, and I'm gonna go ahead and open this thing up. We're gonna get into it.
What is going on, everybody? It's nice to be back talking to the Comic Sense crew. Always good to be working with you, Ish. I'm excited for what we're going to talk about today. Lots to talk about when it comes to this character.
Yes. Let me go ahead and open it up. Sam, Comic Sam, always a pleasure to be hanging out with you, to be handling business with you, to be talking shop with you. One of my favorite things to do is to get on these streams and talk shop with you. So it's always a pleasure. Shout out to Jason Robinson, Jerry Whitman, Robert C. Paulson, Peter Maresca, everyone that's in the room. We're going to get into it. But before we do, see this little bright light reflecting off of my Knicks number 398. Ooh. We need to keep that on. So then, let's pay some bills real quick. Like and follow Comic Sense on Facebook and join our Comic Sense Facebook group. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us at Comic Sense on Instagram. Find us on the Twitter. And after today, follow us at Comic Sense on Threads. Follow us at Comic Sense on Threads after today as well. So now that we've done that, not get rid of the banner, but we're going to bring your comments back. Shout out to J-Pop. Shout out to everyone in the room. This episode, we are going to talk about Bailey Briggs, otherwise known as Spider-Boy. Is it real? Is the spec real? Is it worth investing in? Do you sit on them? Do you keep them? Is it something like the naysayers purport you will find in dollar bins less than a year from now? We're going to open up the can. We're also going to talk about other key characters to come out in 2023, what we feel about them. Should we be sitting on them? We're going to talk about all the things. And of course, and as always, there will be spec. So.
Spec. Oh, man.
You know, they hate it. They always be like, no, Ish, don't give them too much. Don't give them too much.
Give them it all.
They'll give it to you.
It's the right market to talk about spec.
It is the right market to talk about spec. That is true. So, Sam, how you been, bro?
Good, man. Just working, organizing all these books. I'm surrounded by books right now. It's bad.
It never stops.
Yep.
You act like you never collected comics before. It never stops, bruh.
I'm gonna bulk sell to you or Peter Maresca. He's got enough.
Yo, did you see his post today?
I know, it's hard.
Dope, man. Dope. Love that to put Peter out there. 200K plus.
What?
Total value. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Really impressive collection that Peter has. Yeah, everyone who's a serious collector knows what it is like to have to organize.
Oh my gosh.
It never stops. Ever.
Nope.
You're always organizing. So, Spider-Boy. Is he real? You know I'm going to rant. You know I'm going to say some stuff.
I mean, he's real now. He wasn't real.
Oh, this is what we're doing.
Because of the dagger.
This is what we're doing. It's a retcon, right?
It's pretty cool. The whole storyline I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, so before we get into that, because I want to hear your opinion, I want to hear what you have to say. Mm-hmm. And you know me, I'm going to rant. You already know.
What?
I got some things to say. But before we do that, let's set this up, right? So Dan Slott and Humberto Ramos, few days before FOC, put out a tweet telling everyone that this spoiler cover is going to matter. Are we being Donny Cates is the question. Are we being Donny Cates is the initial question. So the interesting thing behind that tweet, and this is something that is important that I want to lay on the table, an important point. What is interesting behind this tweet is it was done in such a way. Do you know that 40% of major comic distributors still order Marvel through Diamond? 40+% still order Marvel comics through Diamond. So it was done in such a way that everyone who had Diamond, because it was put on FOC Sunday, not Friday, which is the deadline by which you can add things to FOC, which is why it wasn't put on FOC for Diamond, because it is purported that Marvel missed the Diamond deadline purposefully. Whether this is true or not doesn't matter. What matters is everyone who had Diamond did not have the spoiler variant cover on FOC. Mind you, Penguin FOC closes on Monday for Marvel. So it has been said that Penguin customers were incentivized with this spoiler variant cover. I'm mentioning this because this is how this is what started the craze. Heavily under-ordered would be my best guess. If 40% of, I know a very big comic shop that we know who orders through Diamond didn't get any. I mean, a big comic shop. Your local comic shop's favorite local comic shop. Because obviously he orders through Diamond. He got some from us, but didn't get any. He's major. Just want to throw that out there to kind of set this up. Lo and behold, we find out the spoiler cover is Spider-Boy. And then the rumors. The negativity before the character ever touched the page. You know anything about that? Were you aware of what was going on?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he was wholly rejected. Oh, the name Bailey Briggs. He must be a trans character. Marvel's being woke again. These were all of the things, some of the things that were being spouted out of the mouths of the naysayers before the character ever touched the page, before we ever had the book in hand.
I think that collectors, speculators, and just comic readers in general, they're feeling a lot of different types of ways about characters introduced over the past several years. You know, you just asked the question, are we being Downy Cates? You know, that happened. You know, people went deep, bought big, large quantities, crazy priced incentives, and they got burned. So when Dan Slott comes out and gives a preview tweet about this is going to be big, you don't want to miss out on this. Like, do you believe him?
I did.
It's tough to trust, you know, any of these creators after some of those things have happened over the past couple of years. So I see why a lot of people didn't believe him. A lot of shops chose not to order too. Like there was the Diamond situation. Then there were shops that said it's not going to be big. You know, so it was a kind of an interesting, like, perfect storm of it all. And then there was the political side. You know, people thinking that the character was just going to push an agenda, and then they chose not to order. And now, I mean, it's one of the best surprise hits of this year. And I think it was a nice kickoff to reinvigorating weekly spec. Now, what they're doing with like the story right now and talking about a quote unquote origin story to boost sales on that particular book and get incentives out of there. Now, I don't know how I feel about it because that's some inflated type stuff, in my opinion.
Say that again.
So you bring out this character, surprise hit, you go to subsequent prints, as always, you know that's going to happen. You get some awesome ratios for that book. That second print was awesome. You keep going. There's a third print out, no ratio, which is fine. But
coming out this week.
You then
got it in the other room.
You then make like Edge of Spider-Verse 3, which was billed as the origin story. That wasn't an origin story. It reveals who, like, the name of the character, but then you pump out a 1 in 100, a 1 in 200, and I don't think that book has really popped. You know, so they're incentivizing the sales, but it's more of the stuff that we've been like seeing over the past couple of years. I don't know if it's going to build long-term value.
So I don't put my eggs in the origin story basket anyway. Origins just get retold over and over. I mean, how many times have they told Fantastic Four's origin in Fantastic Four. I mean, it just gets done over and over again. So I don't really put my eggs in the origin story basket as far as spec. Um, so there was something that you said. Speaking about Spider-Verse at number 3 and pushing the agenda and actually before that reinvigorating the spec market. So I think that Spider-Boy, this is personal opinion, I'm not going to rant yet. I think that Spider-Boy is, and it's interesting because the biggest keys from Marvel this year have all been Spider-Man related keys with Dream Spider.
What a great, that was a under the radar and continues to go under the radar. It's low price still.
Yeah, so is Mysterio in that Spider-Man Venom the kids comic.
The Miles Double Trouble. Whatever it was.
The Double Trouble.
Yep. I like that book a lot.
Yeah, the Mysterio. And then, so those are I mean, there have been other keys for Marvel, but the ones that have rang the bells have been Spider-Man related keys. I think Spider-Boy, and I'm going to say it just so it's out there. I think that Spider-Boy is, while it may not see, and it already has reached certain levels, while it may not see some of the same values as a Black Panther number 3 from 2022, I think it is Marvel's Black Panther number 3 for 2023. I think it is that book. Marvel may have more keys, but the biggest, most important Marvel book to drop in 2023 and for the remainder of 2023 will be, and this is barring, Gods is coming up and how those characters impact Marvel Universe down the line. Right now, I don't think that they're going to have as great of an impact immediately as Spider-Boy has. I think Spider-Boy is the book of 2023. I just wanted to throw that out there. Speaking of the origin story, it wasn't an origin, but what was really important about that story, in my opinion, was we got Christina, which is arguably Bailey Briggs's Mary Jane. We got what appears to be a major supporting character who obviously Dan Slott's talked about dropping a series. We know there's a series coming. She's probably going to be relevant in the series. So I wouldn't leave Edge of Spider-Verse number 3 on the table just for that. Forget the origin. We got a major supporting character, someone who is privy to his identity because he reveals his identity to her. So this person is also privy to Spider-Boy's secret identity. So I think that's going to matter. I think you should have Edge of Spider-Verse number 3 just for that. It's like having first appearance of Mary Jane, in my opinion. It could be like having the first appearance of Mary Jane down the line, in my opinion. But let's really get into, does Spider-Boy have legs?
100%.
I agree.
100%.
100%. First of all, Dan Slott doesn't do anything outside of writing horrible comics. He doesn't do anything but make comic investors money. These Spider-Verse, that's what he does. He makes you money. If you invest in comics and you are a serious investor, you have, especially a Spider-Man investor, you have Dan Slott comics. You have Dan Slott created characters because Dan Slott, through the Spider-Verse, makes investors money. Care what you say, care how you feel. It's what he does.
I mean, you want to compare some prices?
Throw them out there.
All right. So what is Dan Slott's arguably, well, I guess it wasn't entirely Dan Slott, but Spider-Verse was his thing, right?
Yes.
So you talk about spider characters and you want to compare history. And when Spider-Gwen first debuted, 2014, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, GPA sales on that book from November of when it came out until the end of the year set anywhere from like $228, and by the end of 2014 it was as low as $125. The next year all the prices varied, but still in like the $150 to $190 range, right? So within the first 2 years that book wasn't really cracking $200. You look at what Spider-Man 7 has done, it's sitting around that same area. Prices as high
in grade
in 9.8. Yeah, I'm talking about 9.8. Like, it is selling consistently at $100 to $125. Average right now has been 114 over the last 90 days. And it's still pretty strong. There are some, auctions that end on like a Wednesday or whatever that, they dip below 100. But Gwen was incredibly low for a good 2 years before the character took off. And now it's consistently, the height was $2,500, but it's still consistently a $900 to $1,200 book, depending on the month, right? Like that is,
and that's in a recession.
That is massive potential.
No recession, and it reaches as high as 1,500 on average. Yep. Without the recession.
Exactly, and raws go for hundreds of dollars, $500-$600 for near mint plus potential copies. So you look at this Spider-Man number 7. If you can pick it up cheap, you'd be crazy not to. It's like us looking back and saying, man, I wish I would have picked up more Edge of Spider-Verse. Man, I wish I would have picked up more Ultimate Fallout 4s. Like
Ultimate Fallout 4 is another example of a book.
Looking at us in the face again.
Yeah,
history is repeating itself.
So listen. Now you got me. I was just saying that I didn't have to rant, and now you got me wanting to rant. Ultimate Fallout 4 is another example, not a Dan Slott character, but just another example of a book that for the first few years, I think we got ours for $18 in like 2013. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like Ultimate Fallout, look at it now. It is the biggest modern era grail, mainstream modern era grail.
Yep. 9.8s are sitting at like $1,800 average right now. And at the height, they were like, what, 3,000?
Look at the one in 25.
4,000?
You have to have a conversation about the one in 25. That book is no conversation necessary. Exactly. So then, I want to say this.
Miles was $100 too for years.
Yep.
Years. 4 years. 4 years. Sat at $100 to like $175. Granted, it was 12 years ago now, right? 12, 13 years ago. But, this character down the line, long term, I like it. I like any new Spider character long term. You know that.
Yep. I'm going to let you fill this one. Shout out to Justin Estep watching on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube, by the way. I know you're watching on Facebook. We appreciate all of our Facebook Comic Sense Crowd Community crew. Head over to YouTube real quick. Just look at it for a second. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, do something. Then come on back to Facebook. Shout out to Justin Estep. Justin says, does Gwen's first pop coincide with Spider-Gwen number 1? Sounds like it might by the dates. Spider-Gwen number 1 coming a lot quicker.
Take a look at Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. So Spider-Gwen number 1 came out in what, 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
2015.
Yep.
So,
and then I think the second one was 2017.
Let's look at the release date.
Yep. In the meantime, I just want to say, I want to keep it real with y'all. Y'all know what time it is. So with Spider-Boy, right? For everyone who's telling you that this character doesn't have legs, stop it. Stop. Dan Slott, and I use the term Donny Cates as a verb. Dan Slott didn't Donny Cates us. Dan Slott, as I said, makes us money. Dan Slott has big plans. If you thought Tosin was hot, and Marvel told us that they have big plans for Tosin, Tosin's plans haven't come to fruition yet. Dan Slott is full steam ahead on Spider-Boy. He put him in Edge of Spider-Verse. He's been in every issue of Spider-Man. He's getting his own series. I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. I don't think it's going to go away. Spider-Man has a sidekick. Really weird circumstances because Dan Slott, we're not going to lie. Spider-Man, the comic, the writing sucks. It's not great. It's not a good comic at all. Did you read it, Sam?
I read it.
Is it good? Are you saying it's good?
I don't think it's great. It's not his best work.
It's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty bad. That first 7-issue arc,
it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's not Spider-Verse level. It's not Spider-Geddon level.
I feel like he phoned it in. So we're talking about
I think the
The
point of it is to make Silk a prominent character. I
Silk
don't know
and
if
Arana.
correct. I don't know if he achieved that in this story, but
I mean, we're supposed
I
to
like that he's
believe.
focusing in on Silk. That's another character that I personally would love to just go crazy.
Yeah, me as well.
I have the data on this whenever you're ready.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
The introduction of Spider-Boy. You read number 7, right?
Oh yeah.
It was horrible. It was as bad as a comic can be written. It was horrible. Like horrible. All of the Spider characters realize that this character has existed, but none of them remember him. And he's like, y'all don't remember me? You don't know me? Screw you, I'm out of here. And they just let him go, and that's it. Like, screw you, I'm out of here. I didn't. Miles, Peter, I've been your sidekick for years. None of you remember? Screw you, I'm out. And then they say, yeah, we probably shouldn't have let him go. And that's it.
I mean, Spider characters are careless. They get their uncles killed. If you watch Across the Spider-Verse, they all die. They're careless. I'm just saying.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
They don't learn their lesson, man.
Go ahead and hit them with the data.
So it's interesting when the Spider-Gwen series
Appreciate you, J-Rob.
debuted, like Volume 1, Issue 1, that came into play in April of 2015. Prices actually went down. Spider-Gwen did not. So Edge of Spider-Verse 2 in 9.8 didn't really crack the 300 mark until, when do you think?
Gwenum.
2018.
So a year after Gwenum.
Into the Spider-Verse movie. Yep. In June of 2018, that's when the $300 ceiling that it was getting stuck at just started going. And it just kept building. By the end of 2018, it was a consistently $450, almost $500 book every single time. And then it took off. 2019, the low sale was 300, the high sale was 600. 2020, low sale was 317. Then the high sale went to $1,200.
Right, because I remember when you could get it for just under 1,000 consistently. Just under, right around the $800 to $1,000 mark consistently. That was not too long ago, right? Because at the time it wasn't considered a modern era grail. We just started talking about it as a modern era grail within the past 2 years.
Well, when I had the land variant.
Yeah, I know.
9.8, got rid of it to move my way up. For AF15, it was like a $3,300 get, which is incredible, but it did not go crazy to that like 10K prices until that COVID spike in prices.
Well, what helped the land variant on that book was the 1 in 25 of Ultimate Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, once that took off.
I mean, when I believe it was the producer, one of the producers of The Witcher, bought it for 9K, and that helped all of those very hard to find 1 in 25 Spider-Verse books. It helped EOS. It definitely helped obviously all that Ultimate Fallout 4, 1 in 25, and the land. Both are over 10K. The land, Edge of Spider-Verse.
So it does give me like this data does make me question. So like there's potential, but if Gwen went from, it broke that $300 mark. I say $300 book, modern in 9.8. That's a hit. But to break the ceiling of 500, she had to be featured in a movie. I don't know if we'll ever get that from Spider-Boy, but who knows? Like the world is crazy right now.
So I like to identify trends before they become trends. It's my thing, right? There's a trend that none of us were able to identify. And if you saw the last Spider-Verse movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. The most recent Spider-Verse movie. You probably know what I'm talking about. They dropped a Spider-Verse series in 2022. Characters from that series were in the most recent Spider-Verse movie.
Exactly.
It stands to reason that the things Dan Slott is dropping now, this current Spider-Verse series,
could immediately go.
Spider-Boy.
Yep.
It stands to reason that next year, when we get the third and final Spider-Verse film, we could see these characters. They didn't wait a year.
No.
They took characters from 2022's Edge of Spider-Verse and threw them in the film.
You know, they took fan-created characters that they then put into the comics and put them into the film. Like, that's incredible. That's
Peter
so
says
cool.
it. Peter says it. Maybe he shows up in Spider-Verse 3.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean,
So,
Spider-Bite, I think, is one of those characters that showed up in 2.
mm-hmm. Well, so many characters showed up in 2, like 200 plus characters showed up in 2.
She's part of like this core group. I'm calling them the Web Warriors for obvious spec reasons, but like they're going to go find Miles. And when you look at that team, I mean, all of those people, like all those spiders on that team, tons of potential.
Yeah. Spider-Boy, again, and that's what's interesting, right? If he shows up in the Spider-Verse film, what impact does he have on children in pop culture?
Oh, it's huge.
They love Miles. They already love Miles. Like love Miles. Really love Miles Morales. What impact does Spider-Boy have? So we know he's 10.
We know he's 10 because he said he spent a third of his life building up his rep as Spider-Boy, and now it's erased, right? So he comes back, he's probably 10 years old. Like, think about that. That is so cool.
Right.
Like, I know my daughters love watching Spidey and His Amazing Friends. Right? So you've got Miles, Gwen, and Peter, all as kids. But to have a kid directly in the comics working hand in hand or like side by side with all of the other Spider characters and then to get their own book, that's cool. Right.
And especially because he name dropped Miles and Peter.
Yep.
So when does Spider-Boy show up in an issue of Miles Morales?
Oh, it's 100% going to happen.
Right. How does that impact the market? Listen, if you're leaving Spider-Boy on the table, the real question is how many kids are reading Spider-Boy. So, right. That's true.
I mean, you're right. How many kids are reading comics right now?
That's true. But it all depends on how Spider-Boy impacts the commercial market. And what I mean by that is, do they make children's books like they do with Miles? Do they make graphic novels for kids like they do with Miles? Do they add them to the Disney cartoon featuring Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and Gwen? I mean, it all depends. I don't think kids are reading Miles.
Well, I'll tell you what you want to hear this story. So I've got a poster. It's a Mondo poster that has like 64 different Spider versions of Spider-Man on it, all with their name underneath. And my daughter loves, from watching the cartoon, she loves Spider-Man. So she's like, can you tell me what all these Spider-Men are? So we're going through one by one. We get to Miles. And she knows it's Miles. And she goes, well, he's the real one.
Right.
That is this generation. We've talked about this a lot, but that is this generation Spider-Man. And when you think about just that comment, when I heard it from her, I go, all right. That it makes so much sense.
Yeah. And even we're talking all the way up to young adults. And it's not a knock on Peter. The most popular Spider-Man property in the past few years is Spider-Verse, is the Spider-Verse films. It's the most popular property. And a lot of people, I mean, I grew up on Peter Parker, got a tattoo of Spider-Man on my arm, big fan of Spider-Man. A lot of people don't relate currently to Peter Parker.
No.
I'm talking even up to young adult age. They just don't relate or identify with Peter Parker. This isn't a knock on Peter Parker. Peter Parker is for a lot of people. I got Amazing Spider-Man's over there. You hear me knock Amazing Spider-Man every chance I get. Not because he sucks as a character, but because the creative team and the writing has been so bad for so long that, I mean, it's just a middle finger to people who've been loyal to Spider-Man forever and ever and ever. And people like yourself, people like the homie Peter Maresca. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What is Spider-Boy's impact going to be if you look at characters like Miles Morales and Miles Morales' impact on pop culture? Peter said he didn't love the idea of Miles when he heard about it, but after reading the first Miles solo series was sold. One of my favorite shows. Many people didn't love the idea of Miles Morales. Many people left that book on the table Many people didn't love the idea of Miles Morales. It's kind of like wrestling, right? Sometimes you don't, real talk.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't like a character, but they put forth a concerted effort to keep giving you that character that one day you're like, oh, it's Roman Reigns. It's John Cena. It's Miles Morales. We're going to keep giving you this character. Dan Slott has shown intent to continue to give us Spider-Boy. He's going to give us Spider-Boy. And he came out the gate, really came out the gate with it. I love it when a writer or a creator is enthusiastic and passionate about their creation. And it is evident, really evident, that this is his next Spider-Gwen. I think he's making up for the fact that Spider-Gwen has the dumbest name in comics history. And he wants to rectify it by giving us another character.
So they have, I mean, what is it? Spider-Woman, Ghost Spider now. Yeah, it's interesting what they've done.
Ghost Spider's cool.
I like Ghost Spider.
I like Ghost Spider. I didn't like Spider-Gwen, and I didn't like Gwenum. Like, it's really stupid. Really stupid. Yes, Peter says he doesn't know why they just don't use Ghost Rider. Michael Chang says, exactly. It really depends on how big of a push Marvel wants to do for Spider-Boy.
So
exactly.
The interesting thing about the push, and I was reading Dan Slott's tweets, he's like, this was demanded by the fans. Like,
which fans?
Based on sales. Because there was this huge backlash, and if you go to read some of
you mean sales of Spider-Man #7?
Correct. And all issues coming up with him in it. The sales are out of this world. So then you look at the reaction online. There's a really good reaction online to the introduction of Spider-Boy.
Right. So, and it's a reverse from the original. From before he was on paper.
Exactly.
The reaction is reversed
on that. Right?
Right.
So
strike by the iron
there's a lot of criticism from some fans of other Spider characters, and they said, okay, why is this brand new character getting an ongoing? It's not even a mini, it's an ongoing. Why is this character getting an ongoing when our boy 2099 just keeps getting 4-issue minis, when Spider-Punk gets miniseries, when Gwen doesn't even have her own ongoing series, and she's reverted to minis right now. So there was a big backlash that I saw on Twitter about that, and he's like, this was demanded by fans. We're doing an ongoing because people want to hear more about his story. I mean, I think it's healthy. I think it's a healthy thing for the comic market.
The answer to the question is exactly what you started the topic off with: sales.
Yep.
Sales. People love Gwen, but not in a solo series. It doesn't sell consistently enough, which is why Marvel kind of reverted to that formula where they have a creative team write 12 issues, and then the series is done, and then another creative team, and or in Gwen's case, several bad minis, because the last 2 are pretty bad.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
The last 2, they're just pretty bad.
Really bad.
Yeah, they're not good. I mean, you got some first appearances out of them, but they're just not really good miniseries at all. Spider-Man 2099, the 2099 universe, Orlando is really doing some really dope things with the universe. He's pretty much rewriting and recreating the entire universe. But is it sustainable? Are people going to buy a relaunch of 2099? Again, it comes down to sales. Comes down to sales. That's what it comes down to. And it also comes down to the passion of the creative team as well. Like, you gotta want to work on that property. I mean, it is what it is. Why did Donny Cates leave Hawk? There's probably some personal reasons, but the book sucked as well. Sales weren't great because it was a horrible book. You think they wanted to say, hey, Donny Cates, we don't want you writing a mainstream Marvel title? Sales. Let's see what J. Rob has to say. This is similar to the Mandalorian series. Grogu was supposed to stay with Luke and the story move in a different direction. The executives were not trying to hear that. When they saw how popular that character was, they are leaving no money on the table.
Oh, there was no way that Grogu was staying out of that show.
Yeah.
No way.
Expecting it to be a show.
Exactly.
You saw the ratings of Boba Fett season 1 weren't really high.
He was back by the time season 3 started, and people were
He was
like, "Wait,
back before
he
Boba
left."
Fett. Boba
Yeah,
Fett. they
exactly.
had to do episodes dedicated to Grogu and Boba Fett's series.
That's funny.
It was a wrap. He appealed to too many people.
What do you think about these? So we've got the A, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the subsequent prints and the variant?
So that's interesting, right? Because I want to throw into your question, what do I think about the ratio variance of the first print as well? Because there's a 1 in 100.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are ratio variants.
Isn't it just is it just the 1 in 100, or are there more?
I believe the 1 in 100 has Doc Ock. I can't recall if there's
Yeah,
lower.
it's the timeless sketch
black and white
variant for Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
Because
So I want to add that into the mix with the question that you asked me. I want to also throw that in there. It's something that I thought about. Are you asking me to compare? So by comparison,
I mean,
I think the cover with the highest potential value is going to be the spoiler variant. I think the 1 in 100, because it is a first appearance, will certainly command good money, but I think it'll level off and stay there. I think long term, that spoiler variant with it's a double key, right? First appearance, first cover appearance. I think that spoiler variant will long term be the one to have, followed by the 1 in 25 of the second print.
Yep.
The 1 in 25, I think, will be the next book to have. The regular covers,
yeah, there's the A with Shathra on it. There's the C, I believe, or the B, whatever it is, with Supitaman or whatever.
Right. So I think the regular covers are also going to have value, nowhere close in the long run to the value of the spoiler variant. I think the regular covers are certainly going to have value because it just like Black Panther #3, right? Cover B, cover C, they have value. They're not touching cover A or the 1 in 25. They're just not touching cover A. This is a situation, you know how I feel. All things being equal, you want the A cover, unless things aren't equal, things are not equal. That spoiler variant is, to my opinion, is and will be the cover to have. I like having all prints. So certainly I think grab the third print. Do I think the third print is going to ever be anywhere near? This is one of those situations where the print run on the second and the third print, in my opinion, in circulation exceeds what is circulated with the spoiler variant. The second print exceeds, the third print exceeds what is circulated.
It's pretty
circulated
interesting
copies
right
of the spoiler
now
variant.
when you look at prices, right? So the Ross variant cover, so the timeless sketch, right? 90, not many sales at all. 7 sales. Low 173. The high, which I don't even know if this is legit or not because it was on the 8th. So we'll see how that like susses out. But $300.
Raw.
That's graded. The highest graded 98.
Okay.
You've got
that's not saying much.
No, the A.
When you have a 1 in 100 graded 98 and you can grab it for 300, that's not saying
the A,
a lot on behalf of that book.
$62. The Gomez variant, $56.
Graded.
Last sale, graded 9/8. And then the second print looks like 1 in 25, $150.
Well, I was going to say about $150.
$150. So honestly, that's a good. I don't know, for a second print 1 in 25. That, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the rarest thing in the world, but I like that cover a lot.
Compare the second print 1 in 25s to some of Marvel's raw copies of second print 1 in 25s that exceed $100 raw.
Yeah.
Raw already. And we're talking books that released this year that exceed $100 raw. And we're saying that a 1 in 25, and that's just because I imagine, I mean, we ordered tons. We ordered a lot. We had 20 plus 1 in 25s, 27 or 28, something like that. 1 in 25s. So we ordered a lot. And a lot of people
Those comics
sold that book.
Those Comic Sense, buyers do not sleep.
Yeah, man. Comic Sense is awesome. They don't play. They don't play. They want to
say it.
They don't play. Listen.
I like this comment from Justin. I don't know if you saw it. I agree. You know what I wish they would have done with this book, man? So they've been doing multiple 1 in 100s for Amazing Spider-Man with these Disney variants, right? So they did the Timeless and Disney, right? I wish they would have done the Timeless, and I wish they would have done like a Ramos design variant or something.
Or 1 in 100?
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Stop it.
It would have been epic. This book would be nuclear.
For 1 in 100.
It would have already have been a $500 plus book.
For 1 in 100?
Yeah.
It would have been more than that if they put him on that cover. Look at how fast Tosin became a $1,000 book. The 1 in 25, and he's not even on the cover.
Where is that book right now?
Check it out. You're doing all the data mining, so go ahead and But yeah, he's not even on that cover.
You're right. No, I agree with you.
It's a big book. Definitely, if you put him on that 1 in 100, first of all, the problem, and I have a problem with this because you have a problem with the unfair market, right?
$500, by the way.
Okay, 9.8.
Yep.
Okay, so it's dropped.
That's dropped. Good. It was 900.
Yeah, now is the time to buy that book. Listen. You put a first appearance on a 1 in 100, you kill every other book. You kill them. You kill the value of it. Okay. Onu Ghost Rider #1. Obviously, there's value there, especially in 9.8, because the 1 in 50s and 1 in 25s are ghosts.
That book is ridiculous.
Because they're ghosts. The 1 in 100 would have to be a ghost.
That Tradmore.
Yeah, man. That 1 in 50.
Tradmore's art in general is going crazy right now. Like original art prices, nuts. So then you take it. Particular, that's the.
Lost you for a second there, Sammy.
Oh, you got me?
Yep.
All right. His art and then is going up in terms of like original art prices, but then his variants, they're sleepers, man. They're sleepers. And that all new Ghost Rider, I mean, you've been talking about it for years.
Yeah. But it's a ghost. So that's the reason why there is investment value in cover A. I'm not saying go get, unless you are just a collector, you want to have all the covers. I'm not saying go get the Scotty Young cover. Make sure you have cover A, right? But there's definitely investment value in cover A, because even the 1 in 25 is a ghost. The 1 in 50 is a ghost. Had what happened, and had Diamond not been given the news last and the tweet went out, how many 1 in 100s would be floating around?
True.
And that 1 in 100 would kill the rest of the covers.
Could you imagine if this was a spoiler variant without that tweet? How high this book could possibly be? It would be nuts.
I just want to say, I don't like big ratios with first cover appearances on them.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
Not at all. I don't want the Incredible Hulk, the Donny Cates Dark Hulk. What's his name? What do we call him?
Titan.
1 in 200.
Blech.
Killed the rest of the covers. 1 in 200. I mean, come on. We're not gonna give high praises to that Donny Cates series, but that 1 in 200 kills the rest of the covers.
There's a couple books though with first appearances that I really like that are coming up, but I don't know if we want to talk about them.
We want to talk about them. I mean, there's a couple I like too.
I mean, there was that Wonder Woman 800 that just came out.
I love it. Got them on the way to CGC. Really love it.
And now they're DC starting to do second print 1 in 25s.
DC's first print 1 in 25s are dope.
DC has the best ratios on the market in terms of how they look, in my opinion. And
even aftermarket value. Their 1 in 25s and 1 in 50s don't play.
people are sleeping on DC variants.
Yeah,
That's my opinion, and I'm glad I've been buying DC variants for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I really
Because
liked Wonder Woman 800
yeah,
quite a bit. I thought it was a really, 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 it's a really important book, and the creative team is passionate about the character. They're dropping a series. It's 20 years in the future. She's
mhm.
got the 3 lassos. I read it, really, really intrigued by the character. Wanted to read more. Want to see more of Bruce Wayne. I mean, excuse me, of Damian Wayne as Batman. Want to see more of Jonathan Kent. You know, this Trinity. Want to see a lot more of that.
Think about it. They like ripped this strategy right from Spider-Boy. You put the first appearance on the cover, you bring out a second print, you do a 1 in 25
Hmm.
virgin cover of that. Like, come on.
Hmm.
It,
Yep.
it,
Yep.
but honestly, I like it. I
Yep.
like this book.
Yep. So, what are some other key characters? And we're going to continue to talk about Spider-Boy. But we want to talk about some other key characters upcoming and those that have dropped in 2023 that we like.
Mm. I have a bad memory right now.
So, I really like Venom 21. Really like Venom 21. Eddie Brock as a new Venom, wearing the Bedlam futuristic version of his original symbiote, which it is a symbiote. It's just the futuristic version. I love the issue. I loved how he made the symbiote submit. I love the cover appearance on Venom 21. It puts Eddie Brock back in a Venom costume without compromising Dylan Brock being Venom. I think it is more important than people realize. I think it has potential to be a bigger book than people realize. There are essentially 2 Venoms running around. Eddie Brock is back in a Venom symbiote. The future version, I thought it was a really L. Ewing, right? Really brilliant, really clever writer. What L. Ewing did by, figuring out a way to put him back into a symbiote suit, thereby correcting Donny Cates' mistake, as well as leaving Dylan Brock in a symbiote suit. I'm all for it. I like Venom 21 cover appearance and first full appearance of Eddie Brock as a new Venom.
I haven't been reading Venom, to be honest with you. I stopped.
Really?
Yeah. Like I did once they restarted Venom.
Mm-hmm. It's hard for me not to read L. Ewing.
You're right. I think I was just gonna wait for a trade, to be honest with you. But I didn't read any of it. I did buy this Extreme Venomverse number 4.
Of course.
I mean, I think that this whole Extreme Venomverse is their Edge of Spider-Verse. All these
It is
different
Have you read
iterations
it?
of Venom. I've read some of them,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it is interesting. One of these characters could hit and stay long term.
I really like Ellie Brock, Necroco. I was kind of really all in on that book. Obviously, I was all in on that book all over Comics since well before it came out. I think the character that they want to push is this Kid Venom coming up in Death of the Venomverse.
Yep.
I have a feeling it's going to be like a Roman Reigns effect where, I mean, everybody's in on it. Everybody's expecting it. Everybody's ready. Ellie Brock is spec, in my opinion, in the truest sense. Even though we knew she was coming, nobody really took any of the Edge of Venomverse, Extreme Venomverse books seriously. So you kind of had to look and say, okay, this character is going to be dope. Like you just had to kind of play guesswork and say, yep, this character is going to be dope. And if you look at it, right, the A covers, which are the key covers, are still pretty much cover price. It's that 1 in 25 that really, 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 really rings bells. It's the 1 in 25. A covers are still, and I'm sure there will be movement on the A cover. I don't know that it was heavily ordered. I know the 1 in 25s seem to be scarce. So I imagine if retailers split their covers across the 5 covers that were available, I can't imagine there are tons of A covers circulated. I know I went heavy on A because I like first appearance covers. Peter Ruska says $100 raw for the 1 in 25. Admiran says you got me thinking, what if Deadpool became Venom? What else do we like? I like everything that's going on.
I like Hulk.
Oh, what a brilliant book right now.
It's great.
A true successor.
It was great.
To L. Ewing's Immortal Hulk. like a
Yes.
true successor.
Hulk, and then you got to go back to Annual.
Yeah, how do you feel
Annual
about
number
that
1.
that annual and the Eldest, the first appearance of the Eldest?
I like it. I think Hulk and Hulk number 1 have a lot of potential.
Hmm.
I don't know which one is going to end up being the top, but I think there's space for both of them right now.
Well, Hulk number 1's still at cover.
It is, but you've got a first appearance of a really cool supporting character. You've got the Eldest and Annual. It's a new direction for Hulk, which honestly, Hulk is interesting to me when it's done right. The number 1 with new directions do pretty well.
Hmm.
And I think it's because Hulk hasn't been restarted a zillion times.
I don't really think the direction is new. Well, it is
It's
kind
not
of.
new, but it's like,
It's
I mean,
certainly in the spirit of what L. Ewing did at the beginning of his run.
it's a massive shift from Kate's.
Well, yeah, the Cates had no
So
business.
that's why I feel like it's taking it where it needs to go.
Yeah, loved Horror Hawk like Immortal, which is what we're getting in the
Yes.
Steel Hawk book, which is really, really, it's a really good book. Really,
I
really good
honestly
book.
cannot wait to see where it's going to go. I want more of those horror elements coming into play. I want the enemies to be monstrous and just like absolutely ridiculous.
My fear is L. Ewing is going to burn out, and I don't want him to because he's so good.
I don't know if
You know
he
what I
can
mean?
burn out after he's had an insane run of stories over the past decade.
I mean, he's still doing X-Men Red, which to me is the best X-Men book. Venom. He's about to do Immortal Thor, which I'm anxious to see where that goes. L. Ewing's Immortal Thor.
It'll get me back into Thor.
Which spec, right? So you read Immortal Thor number 1, right?
No.
It's not more Immortal Thor number 1, the most recent issue of Thor, who is Mythos on the cover, I believe.
Oh, how it ended, everything?
The Thor annual.
Yes.
You saw how it ended?
Yep.
So my spec is that character at the end is Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So with that in mind, it kind of makes, I told people on the stream the other day, you should probably be looking at Civil War number 3, first appearance of Ragnarok, and the variant cover, which many people think is Thor on that variant cover.
That's some sleeper spec right there. That's a good potential hit.
There's a variant cover to Civil War number 3 that many people
Michael
think,
Turner?
Yep, it's got Thor on it.
Yeah.
But it's not Thor.
It's Ragnarok.
It's Ragnarok. Many people think it is Thor. You can still get that book in dollar bins. Even the variant, the ratio.
It's interesting to me, like the prices of Civil War in general. Like I know it was very high printed, but
some of you who were on the stream got that spec. For those of you who weren't, I just gave some sleeper spec. If you read the Thor annual, at the back of the book, we are presented with another Thor as the original Thor assumes once again the mantle. He fixes Mjolnir and he assumes the mantle of the All-Father, and somewhere else a second Thor appears, worse for wear. It is my opinion that second Thor is Ragnarok, clone of Thor. I don't know what Donny Cates intends to do with, not Donny Cates, L. Ewing intends to do with that character. He asked us the question at the end of the book, would you know more? Now is the time. Go out, jump on eBay. Civil War number 3. Very inexpensive book. Might be number 4. It could be number 4. It is the first appearance of Ragnarok. It also has on a variant cover, first cover appearance of Ragnarok. You want the first cover appearance of Ragnarok. Go and grab that book. That's my spec offering for this evening. Sure, Sam Ferrato has some spec offering for y'all as well. But I want to get your opinion still on some of the hot characters that dropped this year and some characters that you are looking forward to. What's some sleeper issues that we got new characters in that are still sitting at cover price that people should probably be grabbing off the rack?
I don't know about sitting at cover price right now. I feel like, you might know better than me because you're reading a lot more than me right now. But I think that we've been like spec starved a little bit with like really great firsts. We've had some small firsts happen, and they've blown up, but they'll blow up for 1 to 2 weeks, and they'll come down. Specifically with Star Wars, that's happened a lot lately.
Well, it all depends. We did get a really great first in John Ironfire over in the X-Men series. Like a great first appearance. He's really dope. X-Men fans know who he is. Really great first appearance that came out of Sins of Sinister, and he's a relevant character in the current X-Men line, especially in L. Ewing's side of the house. Kieran Gillen and L. Ewing are really writing some really, really good stuff. So we did get a great character in John Ironfire that a lot of people who don't do X-Men aren't aware of. But he's gonna stick. He's a dope character. He will stay around. He turn his blood into metal. Any metal.
What?
Yeah, any metal. Yes.
That sounds awesome. I gotta get back on X-Men
and all kind of stuff, man. Like he can listen. Great character coming out of.
Well, based on what you told me, I started buying X-Men again.
Yeah, you should be buying Kieran Gillen's Immortal X-Men and L. Ewing's X-Men Red for sure.
Yep, I started tracking all those down because I was just waiting. I was just waiting to read them all in one collected edition. But when you sold me, when you told me the whole story,
Jay, don't buy the Slab 9.4. I mean, I guess you can, but there's no point in getting a modern era book if it isn't a 9.8. If it's for investment purposes, you might as well get the 9.8. If you're looking to invest, you might as well get the 9.8.
I think we should start writing down a list of all the firsts from this year.
Hold on a second. Give me a second. Let me give Ian a link. Suddenly, Ian wants to hop on stuff.
Is Ian telling me that a first appearance of a Star Wars character is a hit? I think hell has frozen over.
Listen,
we've converted
solid as a block of ice.
We have converted him to
solid as a block of ice.
Star Wars believer. I'm so proud of him.
Let me go ahead and get Ian a link.
I love it.
Solid as a block of ice. Yes. Go ahead and talk to the people. I'm going to give Ian a link. He wants to hop on for a few minutes.
I mean, what does the chat think? I want to hear the first that people have been picking up and that you're sitting on. I mean, Star Wars Quest of the Jedi, High Republic.
Yeah, that was
one of the best hits.
Yep.
Also,
right away too.
Oh,
right away.
Super hot.
Yep.
What you call it? The Spider-Verse voices. And for the life of me, I can't even think about what those characters' names are, which might tell you about the spec potential. But
yeah,
John Jang did
the spec is on that 1 in 50.
It's on the cover. I mean,
yeah, that John Jang 1 in 50, and obviously the cover that coincides with, I believe it's cover B, but that 1 in 50 went crazy.
Oh, it was nuts.
But yeah, sound off in the community. We want to know what you're sitting on, what you're specking on, what you like. I sent Ian a link. I don't know where he's at. We want to know what you like. We're gonna keep talking about what we like.
Big guns right here in the chat.
Heir to the Empire is going to be a $500 book when Thrawn appears in Ahsoka.
No one should be sleeping on Thrawn.
Not at all.
No
I still think the bigger of the two books will be Ahsoka. That was a Clone Wars #1. Whichever one is the first Ahsoka channel.
A Clone Wars #1 showed up at our local comic shop recently.
Really?
Newsstand.
Really?
It blew my mind.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest modern era Star Wars book.
It's huge.
Period.
It's huge.
It's going to be the modern era Grail. I like Thrawn though. I always like good guys over bad guys. Yep, Clone Wars 1. I always like first appearances of good guys over bad guys, depending on who the bad guy is. There are those rare occasions where it's a Doctor Doom.
Those are just huge books though already. That's the tough part. Like, you're not going to find them in a dollar bin anywhere.
Nope.
You know.
Really, like I'm with you, Peter. I'm with you. Listen, the problem is, and let's talk about that, because we're talking about upcoming characters, right? We're talking about upcoming characters to spec on what we like. The problem is, shout out to Ian. Ian's up in the room. Shout out to Ian.
Look at him specking outdoors right now.
So the problem with Bo-Katan is that everybody is waiting for the Bo-Katan issue of Mandalorian. What people didn't do was jump on the Bo-Katan cover appearance, which, in my opinion, is going to be a major deal. Anyway, shout out to Ian. Ian, up in the room.
Shout out.
Talk to the people.
Welcome from Colorado.
Nice.
So I just want to say, got to kick it with J-Rob the other night, went out to dinner, had a good time, talked about a lot of comic stuff, actually hit up Mile High Comics. Kind of a letdown, but Jay did tune me on to a great shop out here called the Hall of Justice. Absolutely outstanding. Got some treats coming back to Western New York, but I got dogs barking outside and runners. You know how it goes.
You got to go live so we could see your Colorado haul.
I think when I get home, my wife fared a lot better than I actually did. She picked up a lot of hard to find monstrous books.
Oh, nice.
And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like she got the #2 second print.
Oh,
So
How much did that cost her?
$15.
Okay. She got a #2 second print for 15?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. That's like a steal times a lot.
Yeah. But, just figured I'd hop in real quick. I heard you guys were talking about that first appearance of Bo-Katan. First cover appearance. A book that I left on the table. And I regret it. Not a Star Wars guy, but I regret it.
Why'd you leave it on the table?
Because I wasn't picking up Star Wars books at that point in time.
Are you telling the people that you weren't exercising good comic sense?
I wasn't exercising good comic sense.
Love that shirt, bro. Love it. Sam, where's yours?
it is upstairs in my dresser.
I'm gonna put this comment on just because. Shout out to Peter Maresca, who's shouting out Ian.
I completely agree.
We are in bizarro world right now. Ian has to go to Colorado to talk Star Wars positively. He has to go to Colorado to come join us live to talk Star Wars.
Listen up. See that mountain right behind me? I was at the top of it earlier today. Got a little bit of the altitude sickness.
You must be
right
short
now.
of breath and feeling some type of way. Feeling some type of way. That's probably why, right?
Probably why, yeah. But I just wanted to kick it with you guys real quick. I'm gonna hop out, go get some dinner. But good seeing everyone. Happy
Ladies
to see you
and
doing CSP again.
Ian
Jesus.
Michaels, shout out to you, bro. Enjoy.
Dude, safe travels back. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, really, really awesome. Jason Robinson said it took everything to get Ian to stop talking about Star Wars at dinner. Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, Jason just outed him. It took everything. He had to keep stuffing food in his face. Like, yo, you should try this, bro. You should try this, bro. Listen, Bo-Katan.
We got him.
Bo-Katan. Everybody, their mom, their aunt, their uncle is going to go in on that issue of Mandalorian with Bo-Katan.
I mean,
They are.
I think they should, though.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's not going to be any shortage of Bo-Katan first appearances in a comic.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
That cover appearance. That make sure you have it.
The cover.
I got a few laying around here somewhere.
And think about this, like her, like Katie Sackhoff and Mercedes Renato appear at a lot of cons together.
Is that what we're calling her? We're not going to call her Sasha Banks anymore.
I'm just saying. Gotta use her real name, right?
We're not going to call her Sasha Banks anymore. That's what we do it.
I mean,
everyone's like, who? Who's he talking about?
I miss her as Sasha Banks so much. But I think that for me, that's like a personal like goal to get that book signed and graded by both of them. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
they're out there. A bunch of them are out there, but still,
double signed.
That'd be sweet.
I mean, she, first of all, and a lot of people sleep on her, right? she's like a really dope action star who has a really dope portfolio.
Crazy resume.
And I'm not talking about Sasha.
No, Katie.
Katie.
Crazy resume.
Dope portfolio on the low. Like from Another World to Babylon 5. Like she's really put in some work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she owns this character. She is Bo-Katan really now cool. And ever after.
Did you watch the Mandalorian gallery special that dropped, I think, early last week? Or maybe it was earlier this week.
No.
It is the making of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they spent a lot of time with her talking about, okay, like the history of Bo-Katan. And she's played this character for years now, but never in live action as much as she has throughout the series. So to take what it means to voice this character and then have to think about, well, how would she move? How would she actually physically react? It was such a crazy process for her to think about and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows, in my opinion, she's one of the best characters, period,
mm-hmm.
on that show.
Right.
And I think it's quickly becoming her story.
Well, that's interesting, right? Because when does she get a show? So we know before we go too far ahead, right? Because you said it's quickly becoming her story. Season 3 for sure, right? Like season 3 really was a way to shed light on Bo-Katan, to really explore and flesh out that character, especially as it regards her importance to the Mandalorian culture, the entire dynamic, right? Like her importance is, I mean, now she's at the front, right? She's at the forefront of what it is to be a Mandalorian, period, point blank. She's back where she initially started, but now she got there, right? Like that's where she wanted to be, right? With the black saber.
Her fault, that she blames herself for the destruction.
Mm-hmm. And now she's found herself back in that position because of the best character, which I'm dying to see more of. I'm hoping season 4 really sheds light on the best Mandalorian character, in my opinion. The most intriguing character is the Armorer.
The Armorer.
Just the most intriguing character.
Love her.
Just
Love her.
amazing character. So I'm really anxious to see that character explored, if ever. But to get back to the original question, we know that these Disney television shows are now going to follow a Marvel formula, right? We know that it is going to culminate with a film covering not all of, like, we're not going to see
it's Heir to the Empire and inspired,
right? We're not going to see Andor. We're probably not going to see Obi-Wan, even though we could see Obi-Wan. We're going to see several of these shows cross over in a feature film. Obviously, Bo-Katan fits into that. We know Ahsoka is going to be a part of that. All of these are part of the same universe, right? Obi-Wan is, I mean, we know it's a part of the universe, but what I mean is Obi-Wan has not crossed over into these shows yet, right? Andor obviously is before their time, but Obi-Wan hasn't, still potentially could, but has not crossed over into these shows. But we know that Ahsoka, Bo-Katan,
Obi-Wan, though, right?
Boba Fett. Well, he didn't die in the television series.
Well, no, but these are post Jedi.
Say again?
Mandalorians post Jedi.
Post Return of the Jedi. Right. Yeah. You're right. So then you're right. So that
I think it's Luke that will come back.
Do you think Luke will be in the movie?
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. They hired the guy who did that. Like, there was a video on YouTube.
Jay says Ahsoka isn't post Return. She isn't, but her character currently, where they're at currently in the storyline, is post Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
No, they're not.
They're post Return.
Yes, they are. They are post Return of the Jedi.
I don't know if Ahsoka is going to be post Return. Ahsoka might be. I honestly don't know the timeline, but if it's not post Return,
it would be interesting if it wasn't post Return, because they already told at least what we thought to be most of her story in, like, Clone Wars, the television series, and like she's been around.
Well, no, it has to be post Return, because they talk about the fall of the Empire at the end of Rebels. They talk about how Lothal was liberated, and it stayed liberated. The Empire never came. you know. So then like Ahsoka goes and finds Sabine, and
Yeah, they're saying
end of
everyone in our
Rebels,
community is saying that it should be post
yeah, the
Return of
end of
Jedi.
Rebels, they go off to find Ezra, and what happens, we don't know. So
Even Peter says because Rebels characters are in it.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what timeline we get. You know, is it Ahsoka and Sabine? Does Ahsoka go to Sabine and say, "I have new information regarding Thrawn" after that fight with whatever her face was in the Mandalorian, and now they're going on another journey to go find Ezra after their first one was a failed attempt? That I think is the most likely, you know, story that we're gonna get. But I don't know.
So, what do you think is the potential for Bo-Katan
Huge.
outside of a Mandalorian television show?
Absolutely huge. Well, here's the tough part. This whole, you know, post Return of the Jedi Mandalorian universe that they've built, they have not crossed that over into comics in an original format way. There have been no original stories or original content coming out. They're
Right,
taking the show and they're
right.
putting it into comics, and we're going to get that with season 2, obviously.
Well, they're going to do that for as long as the show's on TV because
Yeah,
the creative team
but
of the
then
show is very protective of the characters in that universe.
do we get
Very
that?
protective.
Do we finally get an Ahsoka Tano standalone comic book adapting the show? You know, I don't know if we get a Bo-Katan original series from a comic standpoint.
No, I was talking from a TV standpoint,
Oh, I thought you said outside of the TV.
meaning outside of the Mandalorian
Oh,
TV
well,
show.
how the heck could you not? She
I
loves
mean,
she loves playing Bo-Katan. She loves the universe. If you could sign her up for years to do her own show of like whatever is happening with rebuilding Mandalore and all the, you know, the trials and tribulations that they're going to go through, plus like there's so many different Mandalorians probably out in the galaxy that she needs to go find and bring back or whatever, like it could be awesome.
so I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't have said I was looking forward to it. I didn't like her in season 2. I didn't dislike her. She just didn't do anything
And
for me
Rebels?
in Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, I was gonna say.
She just didn't do anything for me in Mandalorian season 2 until she got fleshed out in season 3. Really fleshed out. Mind you, season 3 wasn't considered great by most Mandalorian fans, but it's weird because it was a Bo-Katan season. Her getting fleshed out was awesome. The story arc was awesome, but it was because it was a Bo-Katan centric season. It wasn't really great. Someone get on AED for Sam. That's from Jason Robinson. Ahsoka dealt with Vader and Rebels. Her live action, she's after Thrawn, not Vader. So yeah, so with this universe, right? What are you specking on?
What am I specking on because of the universe?
With the potential for this universe. It's hard, right? Because again, you already said
most of the characters aren't they're not present in traditional comics, you know? Yet. But like I mean, I agree with you. You need to pick up Bo-Katan's first like in continuity appearance. You got to look back at Peter mentioned it up in the chat, and it's hard as hell to find. But it's a Defenders of the Lost Temple little like trade paperback.
Yep, got them.
Little format. It's a hard book to find.
I ordered them,
but it's incredible. That is like a super hard Dark Horse book to find. That's her first official appearance, and it's the first appearance of the Darksaber. And then
they have another kind of official appearance. They put out graphic novels. They were on Diamond, actually. They put out graphic novels that are ahead of. They put out Mandalorian season 1, season 2 that are ahead of the current comics that have Bo-Katan in them as well.
Grogu. I know that, you know, there are fans of Grogu. I mean, you can't deny the power. That Mandalorian number 2, I think long term is just something good to have. I mean, it's a below cover price A cover. If you you're not sitting on at least 10 of them, I think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Phoenix Shand,
even Mandalorian #1 is good. Fennec Shand,
Cara
hands
Dune.
down.
I like
mean,
#4. I like it a lot.
It's good to have. I just don't think that she's gonna show back up. You know.
I think she will.
What else?
But I'm talking other spec. Listen. I'm about to hit you with.
I mean,
spec.
if you go back,
I'm thinking.
I think you need to buy,
because Boba Fett has a series. I think you need the first appearance of Dirge. I think you need the first appearance of Death Stick. I think you need the first appearance of all of those bounty hunters that are currently running as a team with Boba Fett and Star Wars Bounty Hunters #35 and #36. I think Death Stick matters. Yeah.
Dirge is like a Dark Horse Star Wars Republic, I believe.
Forlam, Peter,
or
preach Peter.
Obsession book or something like that.
Listen.
Dirge is Republic 51.
They just put Boba Fett on a team of bounty hunters in Star Wars Bounty Hunters, issue 34 through 36. That team includes Forlam. It includes Bosk. It includes Dirge. It includes Death Stick. Death Stick, you can still grab her first appearance. It came out in 2021. Still cover price book. These are characters that I think have potential to show up as enemies or allies in a Boba Fett television series. He's old now. So these would be his old allies by the time this series, at the current time of this series. So will we see it? There's a reason why Marvel/Disney does things. There's a reason why Bounty Hunters 34 through 36 went in the direction that it did. We got an issue dropping this week, #36. All of them are on the cover. They were all on the cover last week. There's a reason why. Death Stick is a character that they want to push. They have been wanting to push. Where she first appeared? Star Wars Adventures, was it?
I mean,
in 2021.
If you want to go bounty hunters, man, like all bounty hunters are underpriced, except for first Boba Fett right now, and Death Stick is a good one. But like, there are.
We like affordable spec,
dude. Every bounty hunter right now, and like the big ones, the 6 that were on the Death Star deck, right? Besides and even Boba Fett right now is underpriced because that book has dipped significantly. Like, you should buy them all now.
Mm-hmm.
All Star Wars bounty hunters are the best, one of the best aspects of Star Wars, hands down. So like, whenever there's some firsts, just grab it.
That's it. War of the Bounty Hunters #13, first Death Stick. There it is. And then her cover appearance, I think, is Star Wars Adventures, or she has a cover appearance.
Yep. There's what? So Forlam is what? Some random issue of Shadows of the Empire, I think, is Forlam's first. And then Bosk is Star Wars #7.
Still affordable. 46 is out Wednesday. It's not even out till Wednesday. 45 is still. These are still cover price books. The Bounty Hunters issues, where they put Boba Fett on a team of bounty hunters. 34 through 36, still cover price books.
Is that coming up to the end ish?
Bounty Hunters?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would imagine it would go to around 50, but Star Wars books sometimes end at like 35. You know what I mean? You're the Star Wars guy.
That stuff is going to be low printed. Bounty Hunters, I don't think, commands like a ton of orders, but I think
not at all. Some of those later prints of Bounty Hunters, though, aren't cover price. They're not. You're not burning a hole in your wallet or anything. They're just not cover price. The second prints, because it's already a low print run book. Every time I found a Bounty Hunter second print, I don't care what issue it is, I just grab it.
What is the first IG-88 appearance? Is that Star Wars 100?
Which IG-88? The IG-88 from the Mando series?
No, that's IG-11.
IG-11.
It's like actual. Oh no, is it 50? I think I'm getting stuff confused. Because Bosk is like 70.
You're the Star Wars guy.
I know.
I'm the X-Men guy.
I remember offhand. Like, you got Boba Fett in 42. You've got IG-88, I believe, in 50. Then Bosk is like 70 or 71. And then you do have Boba Fett escaping from the Sarlacc, I think, in like 81 or something like that, or 100. I can't remember.
J-Rob, to answer your question, and of course, this is based on opinion, I don't think we'll get a Bounty Hunters show. I think we will get a Bounty Hunters flashback episode.
They should do a Bounty Hunter show. Wasn't that like the pitch before like the whole restructure?
Wasn't a pitch. You're talking about the show with the comedian. What's the character he plays for Mandalorian?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. He was supposed to have his own show or a rebel show with him on that team. This was all speculation that they were coming with like this team of not necessarily bounty hunters, but they were all former agents of the Empire on some level or another that were like a crew.
Oh, no, I meant a canceled show. Like before they even did like this Mando world, there was I believe a show slated that was specifically going to be based off bounty hunters. And there was also a video game.
We're deep into Star Wars, and we're supposed to be talking about more spec. I'm looking for this High Republic. I'm looking for this High Republic show. I'm very interested in that show from an investment perspective. Yeah. That's tough though, because her first appearance is so convoluted. And what exactly is her first appearance? It's just so convoluted.
She appears in issue 2. She's named in issue 2. She has a speaking part in issue 2, and then she's got, a full panel in issue 5, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. I think that, especially this community, we were telling everyone to buy High Republic when it dropped, and then when it was low, we told them to buy more. So, I think everyone probably did really, really freaking well on High Republic spec.
Everyone in the Comicssense community right now should be sitting on High Republics.
You're fine.
All of them. Y'all are good. Y'all should all be sitting on High Republics because we keep you informed. We all keep each other educated, and we've been screaming High Republic, High Republic, High Republic, High Republic. So everybody, at least who's been on board with Comicssense from day one, has their High Republics waiting to do whatever they're going to do with them.
Now, future High Republic, there's a really great 4-issue miniseries that's coming out for High Republic soon, and that's going to have a ton of firsts in it. And we've been talking about it with our buddies on Discord ish. That's going to be the next little High Republic like potential bomb, and then we're going to run right into volume 3 starting next later this year. They've already started showing off the books, not the comics, but the actual novels for it. And it is just, Martian Rowe looks absolutely menacing. So it's going to be a wild ride for the rest of this book, series between comics and books. And then we move right into live action, which is, sky's the limit. Who knows who's going to show up?
So what's dope about High Republic, right? And I love the way Disney played it. Similar to other Star Wars entities, well, we lost Sam. We lost Sam for a reason or another. Hopefully he can jump on the link, get back in the room. We did lose Sam for a reason. What I was saying is what's interesting about High Republic is, and similar to other Star Wars series, but High Republic utilizes it to a greater extent, in my opinion, is that its fingers are spread into multiple forms of media from comics. You even had some stories and characters in Star Wars Magazine and in the novels, and all of this contributes to a greater universe, which is why the 2 Dark Horse books that dropped a couple months back hit right away, because people were anticipating these characters, familiar with many of these characters from reading novels or what have you. So we really like the potential from High Republic. The story behind it is very interesting. When it first dropped, the very first High Republic proper, not Adventures, proper, which preceded everything, when it first dropped, hit, hot book. Ashley Woodard covers the whole 9. Really hot book. And then it fizzled out. People weren't buying it. Stores weren't really ordering it heavy. It just fizzled out. And then by issue 10, when it was kind of too late, Sam, you're back. I was just talking about how High Republic proper. Can't hear you, bro. I got to do the thing with your volume again.
My whole browser crashed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just completely restarted, so I had no clue what happened.
Like this. Watch Yoda number 10. Maybe possible first Keeve Trennis as a Jedi Master. Awesome. Awesome.
We talked about Yoda 10.
Yep.
A little while ago. A little bit ago.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, really like
Justin's my man.
Yeah, Justin. Yo, make sure Justin, really appreciate you.
That's sequential art on the Discord ish. That's
really?
Yes.
Oh, shout out to you. So okay.
One of the best speckers.
Okay.
Okay. It's phenomenal.
You dropping names here. You outing people. Shout out to you, Justin.
Shout
out to sequential art. So
He's got his name out there.
listen. We were talking about High Republic. I was just breaking down how High Republic proper, the first Marvel series, how it was a hit out the gate and then it fizzled out. People stopped really purchasing it in the quantities that they purchased number one, which is similar, which is always the case generally with number ones. Number twos don't do as well as number ones, but number two is a key. Number three is a key. Number four. And by the time you get to 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is when it picks up again, as far as people realizing I should be investing in this book, and it was kind of too late, right? Like what I'm saying is what is circulated from issues below 8, you're going to find out when these things really hit, there's not going to be enough supply to meet demand. It was a book that people were not talking about after issue 1, and I've never seen a drop like that. Like, it was a big drop, Sam. Issue 1, everybody was out snatching up issue 1, and then
for the first series,
the very first High Republic comic, everybody snatched issue 1.
Well, that was crazy.
And then out of nowhere, like, it was such a drop. Nobody was buying High Republic. I remember in 2021, we couldn't sell High Republic. I'd order every issue. We just couldn't sell it.
You're right. Issue 7 was when it started. I mean, and that was because of Darth Krall. That was because of Orla Jareni. So you had 2 new firsts, right? And it was the first of a Sith, and it got everyone back into it. And then it just started. It kept going. Like, you got Lorna D, who was, an incredible villain in 10, which I think that's still a bunch of potential there. And then arguably you have the Leveler in 15, but like
arguably
the book got hot again. But those middle issues, which that's why I think 2 and 5 have 3. Yep. They'll do well, but there's not as many out there.
There aren't. There won't be enough supply to meet demand.
It seems like the market has, quote unquote, decided on 5, right? Even though I don't believe that. But it's hard to find. It's harder to find.
I mean, the subsequent print of number 1, which is
they went
arguably
to,
as important as the first print.
5th print.
Again? Yeah, but that second print with all of those cover appearances.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Arguably as important as the first print. Arguably. Because you have all those cover appearances on that second print. Nice book. Say again.
They're all underrated.
Underrated. Books you should be stacking. Kind of like we stacked High Republic Adventures 1 and number 2.
I'm stacking too many. Oh, I think I got to get those from you at some point.
Yeah.
We got
stack those.
It's like a box.
Yeah.
We got boxes.
Yeah. First appearance of Marshawn Robinson. I'm about to send a ton of High Republic Adventures number 2s to CGC. Like a ton.
What else? What else is there?
Yeah, let's move away from Star Wars.
We got on a Star Wars kick.
Yeah, what else do you like?
As always.
I like Moon Knight 25 dropping this week.
City of the Dead?
No, 25. I like City of the
them.
Dead quite a bit.
I like
25
a lot.
What I like about 25 is that $9 price tag.
Yeah.
Which means retailers had to go in 50% on that book. And it is the first full appearance of Layla Al Fawli. She's all over the book. All over the book. all over it.
And she's confirmed not to be in costume. So I think there's two legitimate keys, like,
Right.
which I love.
I mean, in costume to me is better than out of costume.
No, I agree with you on that, but it's still like the fact that there's no question makes me happy. Like, you get out of character, you get in character. Perfect. I'll take it as someone who specs and then someone who wants to be able to clearly define what is it if I want to get rid of them. Great. I agree with that.
It should be number 2 for Vern. Shouldn't be a debate.
Yep. 100%. She's in it. She's named. She speaks. Nah.
We were gonna do
case closed.
We were gonna do a show.
We should do a
the crew, the Comic Sense community demanded that we do this show.
Comic Sense detective work. That's what.
Listen, we were gonna do a show.
We should do some of those things.
We'll cameos versus first appearances versus true first appearances. That was gonna be the topic of the show tonight.
Mythbusters.
But the community this morning wanted the Spider-Boy show.
That's fine.
So that's where we went, because we go with the flow. We go with what the community wants to talk about.
I still will just say my answer for that is buy Spider-Boy.
Buy Spider-Boy.
What about number 1 though? That's my question for you.
Number 1.
I mean, I'm gonna buy number 1, but what's your opinion?
Oh, Spider-Boy number 1?
Yep.
Of course I'm gonna buy it.
Yep.
Of course I'm gonna buy.
What do you think about spec value though?
Current trend, I think Spider-Boy number 1 will have spec potential way down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 90s book, right? Mm-hmm. That you never thought was going to have spec potential. And now there's so many spec-worthy 90s books, no matter how high the print run is. Because
it's kind of crazy.
Because his first appearance is going to way overshadow it. Everybody's going to order Spider-Boy number 1. Even the naysayers.
Yep.
They're going to order Spider-Boy number 1. So it's going to come to a time period when people who aren't really in the community are looking for that book. And that's going to be somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I think racial variants are going to have value, especially if they drop a first appearance, which they probably should, right? Which is why you want to buy the first couple issues of any new book, because you're getting an entire supporting cast. Potentially, you're getting the main. And if they do anything, which it seems he's going to do, if they go traditional Spider-Man, we're gonna get his big villains rogue gallery in like the first 10 issues. If you look at Amazing Spider-Man, right? If he homages that in any way.
I will say that one of the toughest parts about Miles is he doesn't have really great rogues.
Miles?
Yeah. This comment I want to go into. But okay, I want to finish.
Me too. Me too.
Yes,
that's why I put it up there.
I have all of these.
Me too.
I love this character.
Me too. Well, so when you say Miles doesn't have many great roles,
too, it's about that She-Hulk number 3 spec for Bailey Briggs.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you?
But I want to. Yeah, I like it.
I don't like it.
So the reason why I like it is because Dan Slott created that Bailey Briggs.
I know. I get
it's
it.
It's affordable.
True. It's not affordable anymore. If you find it in a dollar bin, buy it. Right. But don't go on eBay
looking for She-Hulk number 3
for that garbage, in my opinion.
So let's address this Miles thing really quickly. So you're right in that you can't name a specific Miles Morales main villain. There's no Green Goblin. There's no Doc Ock. There's no hard boom. And he has a ton of villains, though. They just, especially in this run, they just show up and beat him up. But anyway, you're right. And I think Rabble, who I don't think is going to stay a villain, had potential because she just wiped the floor with him all over the place. Him, his allies, she was just wiping the floor with him. However, you're right. But I don't think that Spider-Boy is going to be written or comparable to Miles Morales. I don't think Dan Slott's going that route. I think Dan Slott really is going to take the opportunity to homage Amazing Spider-Man for the modern era.
You're right. He said he's going to Here's the interesting thing about a tweet that he put out. Spider-Boy is going to not homage, but tie into some of the darkest parts of Spider-Man history and lore. So when you talk about darkest parts of history, there are some there's some speculation about the last name of Briggs, right? And it being tied to a bunch of different Briggs related characters throughout the history of Spider-Man. One being like one of the criminals that showed up in like one of the early like Amazing Spider-Man, like issue 31 from volume 1. Like, so I don't know where they're gonna go with this, or maybe it's gonna tie to something really dark with that, I don't know, that venom bite that he has. Because that doesn't seem
What
natural.
if he's related to Uncle Ben's killer?
It could, maybe. Like, it is so interesting because of this retcon. You can really do whatever you want, which is cool. So it'll be fun.
Real quick, I want to address Peter's question, and I want to kick it with Matt about what he posted. I know you want to talk about that. I do too. Peter says, is Spider-Boy going to be a separate thing like Miles, or will he show up in ASM? Well, he's already showing up regularly in Spider-Man 7. Like regularly.
He's slated to show up in ASM 31, which has a lot of spec heat on it in general.
Yeah, he is in ASM 30. ASM 31 is a big book for a lot of reasons, though.
Well, ASM 31 has a spoiler cover that we have no clue what it's going to be. Again,
I mean, people are speculating that it's Jackpot, meaning Mary Jane.
Well, think about
as a superhero.
That would be awesome.
I mean, she has her superpowers.
Yep.
There is a cover floating around of Mary Jane in a costume.
Correct. Yep.
People are speculating this full cover will be
it's
Mary
a John
Jane.
Tyler Christopher.
Yeah,
right?
First cover appearance as Jackpot.
I mean, that has money written on it to me.
That's the spec. Yeah, but what's the sleeper spec then is Black Cat Mary Jane 2023 #1. Where she gets her power, or will we see that she has powers? Obviously, they're keeping her as Jackpot. It's not going away. So
that's good sleeper spec.
Like really sleeper spec, because it's there
I like
on the table
a lot.
at cover price. First
damn.
appearance of Mary Jane with these Jackpot powers, which would be again Black Cat Mary Jane #1 2023.
Beyond, right?
Yeah, it's the one that just started. No, not Beyond.
No, not
just
Beyond.
The regular.
Oh, the regular one.
What was the Beyond run?
I thought it was Beyond.
It came out during that,
one, right?
It came, whichever one came out during that
the one with the Villa Lobos variant, the 1 in 25.
No, you want that A cover with the Jackpot #7s and all of that. What's the? It came out during the same time as I've never remembered these stupid Spider-Man crossovers, but it crossed over with the X-Men, Goblin Queen and Chasm.
Beyond.
Okay, Beyond. It's
yeah,
Beyond.
You're
one.
right.
It's the Beyond one. Yep, the Beyond one. So that's the one you want. Cover A for sure, with the Jackpot symbology on there. It's not on the 1 in 25. The 1 in 25 is a really dope, like pink cover with both of them on there. You want? I like the one.
The Lobos.
Yeah, I like the one with the Jack. The slot machine symbology on the cover.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
That's
what we
that's
do.
it.
We do.
They've had it planned out for so long.
Yeah, this is what we do. And then in that book,
that's great.
In that book, that's the one. Yeah, the Dark Web stuff. That's right, Matt.
Oh, Dark Web. So not Beyond.
Yeah, it's the Dark Web. It came out during the Dark Web.
Okay, got it.
All right, so Matt Golden. I was just talking to someone about how many different firsts there are for Ileana: first appearance as a child, first as an adult, first as Magic, etc. You want to take this, Sam, before I get into it, because I'm well versed on this.
I love the character of Magic. I personally prefer Uncanny 160, but
over Giant Size.
Yes, because I like separating that character from Giant Size. Because come on, but then I also love New Mutants 14. Like I love it.
Okay, so New Mutants 14 is key because it's the first appearance of Ileana. It's the first time she's called Magic.
Yep.
Period. That's what makes that key, right? 160 is weird because you can't mention 160 without mentioning the Storm Magic limited series, because that limited series takes place inside of X-Men 160. Like, it literally takes place, like, she goes into limbo, and then she has the entire adventure in the Magic limited series, and then she comes out of limbo as an adolescent at the end of 160. It's really weird. It's like the weirdest. So it's kind of like you can't really separate 160 from the Magic limited series, because in the Magic limited series is where she becomes Magic. In that limited series, it tells you how many years she spent in limbo. You understand what I'm saying? Developing these powers or what have you to come out at the end of 160 as not adult, but adolescent Magic. So it's like, okay, 160 is her first appearance as what? Ileana Rasputin's first appearance is Giant Size X-Men number 1, right? In issue 160, she's still little kid Ileana Rasputin. At the end of 160, she becomes adult Ileana. But is it a true first appearance? What are we doing? Are we doing... And what I mean by that is, right, we like the first appearance of Eddie Brock, but we like the first appearance of Eddie Brock as Venom more.
Way more.
Right? Generally the case, right? So
thousands of dollars more.
So what is 160? Is 160 a first appearance of Ileana Rasputin with mutant powers as Magic? Or is it just Ileana Rasputin? Because remember, at the beginning of that book, she was still like 5 years old. The same age she was in Giant Size X-Men number 1. So how do we... It's really weird. What do we say is her first appearance? Her first appearance is Giant Size X-Men number 1. Period. As Ileana Rasputin. But what's Magic's first appearance? New Mutants 14?
Or 21?
X-Men 160? What is Magic's first appearance?
And the funny thing is that there are modern Magic books that beat out her firsts besides Giant Size.
Variant covers.
Yeah, her variant covers are where the money is at.
Right. 160 is going to continue to grow. One of the most unrated Uncanny X-Men. I'm going to say 160 is the first appearance of Magic.
When does she get her, like, the what you call it, the sword? When does that, like, when that sword comes into play, is she the original owner?
No. She becomes remember, she wasn't even the ruler of Limbo. Was Belasco who was the ruler of Limbo?
Yes.
He like raised her and taught her in the ways and the whole nine.
Because that's in
I believe the first appearance of the
limited
sword
series, right?
That's in the limited series, which is out after 160, but takes place during 160. It tells the story of her in Limbo.
I have to read that limited series again. It's been like years,
right?
Like years.
Right. It gives you the story of Magic in Limbo. So then she comes out because remember, she goes in at the beginning of the book. Storm goes in with her. They come out at the end of the book. When she comes out, she's now teenage Magic. She earns the name and becomes Magic. So she doesn't even display her mutant powers before she displays her sorcery skills. You see what I'm saying? Until New Mutants number 14.
That's another one of those examples. I like that Matt asked that question because it's a great example of how there's so many different possibilities for the key.
So you don't want to leave 160 on the table?
I wouldn't leave any of them on the table if I saw them. You know,
I buy them
every time I see
it.
A New Mutants 14, I buy it.
Me too.
Because they're always cheap 14. When you find them in the wild.
If you're collecting for investment purposes, especially before the X-Men stuff drops in Disney, you should have New Mutants 1 through 30.
Yep.
So affordable. So many keys. So many keys. So many. The only thing you don't get is the first appearance of Exim Koiman, right? Karma. But you get first Cypher, first Magma.
Cypher is a good one.
First Thunderbird, first Warlock. For like I could just keep going, right? Demon Bear, Legion. What are we doing? You know how important Cypher is right now? Really, really, really important character.
Isn't Cypher dying?
No.
No?
No. Love the New Mutants movie. Very underrated.
I did like that movie.
I did too.
I know it didn't get good reviews. I really liked it.
I did too. I enjoyed it. I liked the choice for Magic in that movie. I didn't like the casting so much. I thought Magic was cast well. I thought some of the casting was questionable, but the movie overall was really good. I didn't like Sonya Braga as Cecilia Reyes. I didn't like Cecilia Reyes as a villain at all. Like,
yeah,
I didn't understand why they went that route at all. Why they just took an always been a hero, always been an X-Men, not always been an X-Men, but an X-Men character, a staple of the X-Men, always been a good person, and just decided she's going to be the villain. Didn't understand that. But I did like the film for what it was. I liked the direction they were going with Mr. Sinister. Wish it could have played out. Don't know why did Disney put it on a back burner to fix it and then gave us pretty much the original intention of the film. So I don't know what that was about. Still, I did enjoy New Mutants. There was another book from the X-Men universe that I was thinking about that I like a lot. From the X-Men side of the house that came out recently, and now for some reason I can't think of it. Outside of all the Sinister stuff, like have all the first appearances of all the Sinister clones, all of them have them. But Powers of X #1.
That's a no-brainer.
Rasputin is here though, and she's here to stay.
That's going to be down the line. The variants are crazy, but I think that's a
shout out to Andre Snell, and I do want to reiterate what Andre is saying. Shout out to Andre Snell. Appreciate you being here. If you are not a member of the Comics Sense page or the Comics Sense community, find us on Facebook, man. Like and follow our page, join our group, and to everyone else, like and follow Comics Sense on Facebook and join our Comics Sense Facebook group. Find us on YouTube, like Andre did. It's really dope. Check us out on Instagram, check us out on Twitter, and check us out on Threads. Yo, go over to YouTube. Click a thumbs up, click a thumbs down, view the video for a couple seconds, help us out. Like Andre said, really, really appreciate that, man. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Everybody go hit that like button. We got Sam Ferrado up in the house, Comicsam, I'm Issue X. We all kicking it. So yeah, Power of X #1 is a no-brainer, right? How about the subsequent prints?
They're hard.
Hard, and not expensive. Just hard to find.
Hard to find, though.
Not expensive either. Powers of X.
House and Powers of X were books that people got and just tucked away in their collection.
Mm-hmm. And then people started dumping them, too.
You rarely see them.
Yep.
In shops. You rarely see them in back issue bins. When you go to cons, there's not tabs for House and Powers of X. They are very hard to find. And then those subsequent prints, when you got to the later ones, ghosts too. And then
even the later subsequent prints, you're talking about later issues or prints?
Prints and later issues. I mean, it's a little bit of both, man. House of X
#2 has several prints that are hard to find.
And those connecting variants in particular.
Oh, man, I hate it.
I hate it. I'm missing one, and it's the crazy one.
Are you missing the Virgin connecting variants or just the connecting variants?
Talk about that. The 1 in 500s.
Yeah, man.
I shouldn't even be talking about that on stream. I'm looking for them.
You looking for 1 in 500s?
I would love them.
Dude, I just sold a run. Not the 1 in 500s. But we just sold a run in Specking the X, an entire run of House and Powers. Pretty much the entire run.
The 1 in 500s would be like, I love Brooks too. They would be some goals. But there's a connecting set, and I forgot who did it, but it's like yellowish orange covers, and it has all of them on a connecting set. And that got really expensive. They were
I
like
have 'em.
$50 each at one point.
Mhm.
Like, and now they're just ghosts.
I hated House Powers, not the story. I hated it as a collector because I'm a completionist,
Oh, there's
and
so
I
many.
feel like House and Powers of X belong in the X-Men run.
Well,
Like
they do.
like Giant Size belongs
They're
in the X-Men run
crucial.
to me. Like they absolutely belong
will
in
be-
the run.
I mean, already the story. I mean, the story has completely reinvented the X-Men books, obviously, as you know. But like, they will become classics.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough, man, because you had so many covers. It was crazy, man. You buy one issue and you have 12 books at $5 a book. You spend $60 on one issue, on issue number one,
I mean,
and
I
that
think
go on.
that's part of the problem with like A, B, C, D, E covers on some of these. You know, it gets really expensive. That's
Well, this
why
is why we like A
I
cover.
know. Well, and that's why you beat the unfair market, you know? It's like
Yeah.
that's the point, because it is hard to be a collector of full runs. It's hard to be an every cover, every variant collector, especially in today's market, because I mean they take advantage of that.
hmm
And then not everything hits. But there's a difference between being the completionist, you know, like I am with Spidey, that you are with X-Men, and then trying to hit, you know.
Yeah, but you're not a completionist with Spidey like I am with X-Men.
No.
Like I'm anal.
No. Yeah.
Like I need
I can't
everything.
I cannot do your newsstand versus direct plus Canadian price variant plus this printed like version had this color ink variant versus this. This was a Pressman book. This was
Listen,
not.
I need
This
a
was-
Pressman
If you
book.
want
I
me to
need
keep going with all your obsession with X-Men,
if it
I'll
came
tell
if
you
it came with a
what this man
toy.
is dealing with
If it came with
right
a toy,
now.
I
Trying
need
to
it.
put this together.
X-Men Classic, like that's a part of the run to me. I don't even put X-Men Classic in its own box. I put it where it goes in the Uncanny run. It's where like
Oh,
it's a
this is fun.
reprint,
This is
so
fun.
it has to go where it go. Like I need it all. If it was with a toy, I need it. If it's reprints, an issue of Uncanny X-Men, J.C. Penney reprint, Pressman reprint, you name it, I need it in order for the run to be complete. You know how many reprints of Giant Size I have? It's crazy, man. Special edition. I got Mexicans. I got like it's crazy.
Oh,
Classic X-Men #1.
See, when you start getting into foreign books, that's a dangerous, slippery slope.
I told everyone, go on.
That is some hard to find, crazy stuff. Especially when you think about Marvel and what they did. Like, I was reading an incredible article about what they did with Spider-Man in Mexico, and they were reprinting books using the regular stories, and then at one point they were in line with the stories coming out. They started just writing their own stories. When they killed Gwen, going way back, the books where they wrote Gwen in as like Peter's wife and they got married and all that stuff, there's some of the most expensive Spidey books. It's nuts.
Original
Absolutely
stories.
crazy.
Loved Gwen too much to kill her.
They did. They loved Gwen.
Never been a fan of the character.
We cannot kill Gwen because Gwen sold so many books. They also like sexualized Gwen on the covers, and it sold like crazy. Which is why when you see some of those books, you're like, I've never seen Spidey's look like this, and they are expensive.
So you were talking about something earlier, and I just want to throw this out there because we like to identify trends before they become trends. In a trend, when you said, you know, it's kind of hard to collect because you have like covers A through E.
Oh yeah.
Right. But something that I'm noticing and I think is going to become a deal. I remember in 2021, somebody brought into the shop the entire catalog of 2021 Alex Ross timeless covers.
Those sell for a lot of money now.
It's the whole catalog, and it was, and these are obviously variant covers of specific issues. Yep. Very easy sell. Someone put in live stream, someone bought the whole thing. And what I'm seeing is things like if somebody collects all of, instance in 2021, everyone wanted the women's history. We had a customer who wanted all of the women history covers.
Yep.
I imagine things like someone collecting every Hellfire Gala
Think
cover.
about the Venomized.
Right?
That's the one that like kicked it off, I think, with themed variants, because it went from the incentives, and then they're like, oh, these incentives are hot on the secondary market. Let's bring back Venomized covers, and then they were open order.
Well, like for me, for instance, right, and I'm seeing that because right now, one thing I want to collect, and I haven't put it out there yet. I'm putting it out there for the first time now. One of the things that are on my to-do list is Marvel 25th anniversary covers. I just want the entire run with the borders. I don't want to pay for that Care Bears cover. Like, I just don't want to pay for the Care Bears cover right now when I could be buying another, X-Men book or what have you. That Care Bears cover is like a $500, and especially since since John Romita Sr. passed away, it's now even he did that cover, right?
That is
that Care Bears cover is crazy, bro. Yo, the Care Bears cover, I think it's Care Bears 6, bro. Yo, bro, Care Bears 6.
What?
Care Bears 6, bro. I think it's number 6. John Romita Sr. did that cover.
Yo, the Muppet Babies one. That's the one that I know of. That is crazy, like expensive. But Care Bears?
Well, yeah, Muppet Babies is super rare, dude. Are you looking up the Care Bears one?
I am. Yo. Oh, I like this Transformers one.
Yeah, the Transformers one is nice. I want all of them, and I thought about that.
How many are there?
Beginning of this year? Like, yo, I want all the. There's one for every issue that came out in like
Heathcliff one,
November '86.
$200.
Yeah, man.
The Star Wars one,
dude. All of them
any
of them Star Comics. The problem is Care Bears.
Don't do this.
Care Bears was under order. Any of them Star Comics books? Did you look at the Care Bears one?
I'm looking at them. I say don't do it. That's a lot of money.
Drop some prices.
I mean, Care Bears. There's one up for auction. It just went live. $100 starting price. Starting price. Yeah.
You think it's gonna get better?
A man could dream, but you're talking about it on the stream, so now it's not good.
It's John Romita Sr. A lot of people don't know he did that cover.
Oh, Peter, I love the Snake Eyes one too. I actually found that not too long ago.
They're all dope. You know what? The X Factor. The X Factor one is so striking. The Cyclops one, very, very striking. Very cheap, very affordable.
I think this is a bad idea.
But there's like,
tell you, I'm on stream,
5 of them
on record, telling you.
It's a bad idea that I would like to own the Marvel 25th anniversary covers.
That's a lot. I mean,
down the line, somewhere down the line.
You do you.
Somewhere down the line.
But dang,
there's a lot of them though. Every book that dropped in November 1986.
That's a lot of books.
Had an anniversary cover from Marvel.
That's a lot of books.
Like every one that dropped.
Nah.
So you're talking Uncanny X-Men 211.
Peter just added to it. You don't just need the frames. You need a newsstand, and then you need a regular for each.
No. I just need the Spider-Man. Okay. I just need the Spider-Man head. I think the newsstand. Obviously, you want to own newsstand copies, but I think the newsstand takes away from the overall presentation of the book.
Yeah, because it has
the barcode.
Most of them have the black Spider-Man head.
Right. So that's how I
awesome
specifically
books.
Want them that way.
The Thor one has
maybe because those are the first 2 comics I ever bought: Daredevil 237 and Uncanny 211. Those are my first 2 comics that I ever bought. So it's like Marvel 25th anniversary. Bought them off the rack as a kid.
See, that's cool.
But I would definitely like to own, and I'm slowly but surely going to put them together. I don't have to get the big books right away. I'm just slowly but surely going to buy all of the affordable ones. All of them. I'm just going to buy all the affordable ones in the highest grades possible.
Right. Whenever I see them, I'll just grab them. Yeah,
just grab them. But I'm a grade snob. Whenever you see the affordable ones raw, grab them.
That's funny.
I got the Ghost Rider #1 from the current series that has the anniversary board of Ultimate Comics exclusive. And that's the thing. Hold on, I just want to say.
Yeah.
They're going to be homaging this Marvel 25th anniversary cover. We're identifying trends before they become trends. Forever.
Oh yeah,
They've done it so many
that's
times.
true. You're
Other
right.
companies have done it. Like they're going to be homaging it forever.
What? Well, I want to ask the chat too. I want them to weigh in. Like, what are some of their favorite like themes like that? So this wasn't necessarily variants; these were regular covers, but it's a full theme, right? But are there variant themes that you specifically collect?
Like
Are there,
Venomized.
are there covers like this that you tend to go like, all right, I need every single one of these. I'm trying to think of ones that I've gone after. Like, do you remember in like I think it was the mid 2000s they did like art appreciation covers? It's like fine art appreciation covers.
I know they recently did it with Black Panther.
Yep. So that was in the it was like the maybe like early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
They did it across a bunch of titles. They're really cool. There's one that always sticks in my head. It's like Wolverine, Andy Kubert's not Andy Kubert, Warhol style with like Tim popping his claw. It looks like that classic like Claremont #1 cover, but then in a bunch of different pop art all around the cover. And then they did
You
other
mean
covers inspired
Frank
by
Miller
other
#1 cover?
famous, yes, by different like fine artists. Those were cool.
J. Rob's looking at the Disney covers.
Timeless. Sam, are you going after the color timeless covers,
Or the
or
black
are
and
you
whites?
going after all of them, like the black and whites? Because I know someone who's going after all the black and whites too, and it's absolutely crazy.
And the problem is with
Like,
the timeless
kudos
covers.
to you.
The timeless covers transcend years. Like years. There's the 2020 releases. There's the current releases that just released through 2022 and 2023.
A lot of them are on thicker books, so to get 9/8.
Like this Jusco Masterpiece covers.
I like that.
Yeah. Joel Jusco's still putting them out.
Masterpiece, and he has those corner box covers, which I thought were really cool.
I like the corner box covers. I have all the X-Men ones.
I love corner box in general. Brooks is doing some corner box covers this month. And
we're getting some real good offerings here.
Venomized movie homages.
Tell me more. And movie homages.
Okay. And I was like, what Venomized movie homages have I not seen?
Stormbreaker's Guard is the guy. And you can even toss in if you like specific homages, like Spider-Man #1 homage covers, Amazing Spider-Man 300 homage covers, that Incredible Hulk, Todd McFarlane homage. You throw all of it at us.
Momoko's, there's so many now. She cranked out 300 covers last year, she said.
Battle lines. Momoko
is nuts to try and do.
Sam said he wants the colored Disney metal covers and timeless covers. Jay likes some Disney metals. I like the #1s too.
Disney the Dynamite. Metals.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes, Matt said it right. People like Scotty Youngs. Scotty Youngs.
People go crazy. He was on Whatnot recently, I think, with a shop, and he just put his covers up and signed, and they were going crazy.
Yeah.
People love him.
Yeah, they like Scotty Youngs. I'm trying to think of some of the covers, the themed covers that I appreciate. I like connecting covers. Really, really, really like connecting covers. But I like old school connecting covers. Again, some things that you might want to think about is go back to the early 2000s, and I'm gonna just keep it real with you, and late 90s, and just look for some of the first, in particular, Marvel variant covers before they become a thing. You know what I mean? Like literally, even racial variants.
I'm laughing.
Even early Marvel racial variants. We're talking. Marvel didn't start doing racial variants until the early 2000s, but they did some early variant covers where you got, like in Uncanny X-Men, for instance, you got 354, which had a variant cover. They didn't even change the indicia on the barcode. They're still both A covers. You know what I mean? They did it in X-Men proper volume 2 I believe it's X-Men 60 issue 62 or 60, I can't remember which one, where they just threw a variant cover at you. The Apocalypse connecting covers. Even Uncanny has a 1 in 25, 1 in 15, 1 in 25. Very, very early on, affordable. You can get these things for like $15, like those early ratio variant covers before they started doing cover A, cover B, cover C. It was just, here's a ratio variant.
Yo. There's some good stuff in here. People are collecting.
Yeah, I like that right there.
Peter,
shout out to Scud the Disposable Assassin, the first ever action figure cover, by the way.
I am trying to get every single Star Wars action figure cover, but I don't know if I can find them all.
You know, Star Wars is going to give you themed covers. Really give you themed covers.
Oh yeah.
It's
negative
hard.
Space covers.
Those negative spaces are hard. Really, really hard. Sam likes the Scott Campbell Marvel Anniversary covers. Ooh. Those are dope covers. Star Wars, though, you're gonna get Chris Sprouse, right? He's giving you all the different types of variants. You're getting action figures. You're getting his Chris Sprouse's covers. You're getting homage covers. Man, Star Wars is gonna give you all of the themed covers. I like some of the stuff that they're doing in X-Men with their trading card covers.
Oh, trading card covers are sweet.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like those. It's just straight nostalgia.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Really like the trading card covers. What are some other covers? What do you like Spider-Man wise? You're a Spider-Man guy. Like what?
Like some of my favorites are those Todd Knock head covers.
Stop it, man. I'm all right. So everybody, Sam Ferrado's Comic Sam has officially checked out.
I had to tell you. I had to bring that one back for you.
Who's collecting Todd Knock head covers? And watch. We're clowning it, right? And in 10 years, someone's gonna have every Todd Knock head cover, and it's gonna go for a premium. Like you're gonna have them all mint, and it's gonna be a premium. Like, wait a minute.
You know.
So no one will have the complete Todd Knock head cover run. It'll be the only person.
What's worse, the headshot covers or the window shade covers? Oh man,
some of the window shade covers are pretty nice though. There are some that are like real. I'm thinking Ghost Rider #1 was a really nice window shades cover. Some are pretty clever. Most of them are stupid, but some are like, who said this? Hey, let's just do a window shades variant.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Like, where did that come from?
Right, Todd Knock.
I don't understand.
Like, have the head peeking out the window this time, Todd.
Why they make the decisions they do?
Yeah, like whose idea was that?
So what about weird?
Some of the DC covers.
I'm trying to think of some of the variants that I tend to like pick up every single time.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Yep. As a reflection.
I don't know. I skipped the window shade covers.
I got this one.
Because I was like, why is this a thing?
I got this one.
I did do the Disney covers though, which was a great and bad idea.
I mean, I like Disney.
I mean, I love Disney, but
that's tough.
It's gone crazy. Yeah, get the heck out of here, Peter. That's
tough.
That is a commitment, my friend. Ghost hunting.
Jay, you about to be broke. You about to be broke, bro.
What ghosts, Jay?
Which ghosts? Which ghosts, bro?
I don't know if I want to talk about ghosts.
In what era? What era? Which ghost in what era?
I'm hoping he's talking about ghost variants. That's what you got to talk about. Those are my favorite ghosts.
The ones that don't exist?
The ones that legitimately are like
ghosts?
Damn near impossible to find.
Yeah, those are tough, man. He wants all. That's just, listen. It's called a ghost for a reason.
One of my favorites that I was lucky enough to track down it's a Venomized cover, and I'm not a Venomized cover person, but it is Uncanny X-Force #20, and it's the Psylocke Venomized incentive. That is my personal favorite ghost, I think, that I own.
We got a few signed Something Is Killing the Children #6, 1 in 25.
The actual ghost. The
ghost.
Is Killing the Children ghost.
#6, 1 in 25. We have a few signed by James Tynion Ford.
Peter.
We have the Ninja as well. We have the Ninja as well. So speaking of Delato, right? I want the Delato cover that all X-Men fans want.
I want the Delato cover that all Spider-Man fans want.
Yeah, that one's tough, but it's not as tough as the X-23 cover.
Oh my god!
Which he's done like 3 times, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about that cover is that they definitely took some of the wind out of its sails by doing that version. But I love that cover.
Yeah, but he did it like on 3 different books.
I love that cover.
The same exact cover, and only one of them has this ridiculous device, like $1,500.
It
man.
is so good, though.
Yeah, it is. It is, man.
The Delato X23. That's like that to me is in my mind X23. You know.
Oh, it's not the best X23 cover.
That and Nick's.
It's definitely not the best X23 cover.
What's the
it
best
is
one?
Up there. What's the best X23 cover?
Tell me.
I can tell you a bunch. So first, I'll tell you the X23 Women of Marvel cover from the early 2000s, where she's leaning up against that cover.
Isn't that Takeda?
No, Sana Takeda didn't do that cover.
Oh, she did the other one where she's like standing in fire, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah,
and then every issue of that one? Every issue of that run of X23 that came out after Target X, like the first 5 or 6 issues, where she's on the ground with her claws out, like every one of those covers is fire, like really dope covers.
Oh, it's Marjorie Liu.
No, Marjorie Liu's the writer.
Marjorie Liu's the writer.
Yeah.
Who's the? It doesn't even tell me who the artist is. Let's see.
Yes.
Hologram covers.
There's only 4.
Huh.
Pete said he has all of the Delato X23 covers and he traded them for an ASM number 667, the Delato ASM.
I would too if I had them. That's crazy. That book is...
Peter, we got to talk offline. I'll take that whole run off your hands.
Every variant? Man.
I'll take that whole run off your hands.
I love that.
I'm actually looking to upgrade my Nyx number 4 from a 9.2 to a 9.8.
That to me is one of the best. One of her best covers.
Nyx number 4?
Yep. I love it. I think that's on my wall right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
This one?
I love that cover. That should have been number 3.
Man, Nyx number 3 is just a better cover.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying. So yeah, we kicked it. We've been on here for like 2 hours.
We have been.
And you and I could go all night.
This is what we could go all night. This is what happens.
We can go all night. I'm going to put it out there in front of the entire Comic Sense community, in front of the YouTube world. Sam says that he is going to grace us with his presence more often.
It's not grace. We will do this way more often.
He said it. When you see him, look down right into his eyes.
That's messed up. It's messed up. I'm just gonna get a lot of DMs being like, "Yo, you going live?"
Like, remember what you told us? So we appreciate everyone that's in the room. Sam, I want you to let's say something to the people, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close this out of here. We're gonna get ready to go.
I mean, I love tonight. Tonight was fun. We started with Spider-Boy, and then
we just went where we went.
We went where we went, and we had a ton of really awesome, participation from the chat. I hope some people bought some awesome books based on some of our recommendations.
Civil War number 3.
It's gonna be a crazy rest of this year, I think, when it comes to new book speculation, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, and I agree with you. I think so. We're in July, and as always is the case, somewhere in the fall we should get something.
Dude, I think there's
spec worthy
a ton of stuff brewing, and we didn't even talk about Void Rivals, and we talked no indies tonight.
I was gonna say the same thing. We talked no indies tonight. We talked no DC really.
That's okay because I mean, there's a lot going on in DC and in the indie world, and there was a lot of money to be made over the last couple months.
Mhm.
But then there's a lot of stuff to sit on for long term,
Something epic.
and it's just good. It's fun to read again.
Listen,
Fun to
let's
read
talk
again.
indie next week.
Void Rivals it was a really fun read, and then what's going on with DC with Night Terrors. I know some people are out on it, but
I'm in on it.
So far, really fun read. Very different. The variants like hit. They look really good. So
Tons of first appearances. Insomnia being the one you want.
Man.
Dropping this week.
So I've been trying to read as much as possible, so we could sit here and talk not just what we expect, but some of the best spec comes from
reading.
You have to read.
Been saying
you gotta read to pick up on those clues and say, all right.
Comic Sense community hears me say it every week. You're hearing Sam Ferrato, Comic Sam, say it as well. He's telling you, because it's what it is. Read. You don't have to read. Listen to the people that read.
That too.
For real. That's what it is. So yeah, we can talk indie. I want to say real quick, Sam mentioned Void Rivals. Don't leave Void Rivals number 1, that second print on the table. Listen, the reason why that 1 in 100 is popping is because of a cover.
It's because of the cover. It's the cover. I mean, the potential for the world is incredible, but it's the cover, man.
There are 2 covers of the second print. Both of them feature Jetfire.
Yep.
If you couldn't get that 1 in 100, make sure you got that second print, cover A, cover B.
The 1 in 100.
Cover B.
I don't know if it will come down or not, man. I don't know if it will.
I don't think it will.
I like it a lot.
I don't think it will. It's the reveal. That's the reveal. It's not the reveal. Isn't even in the book.
Nope.
It's the cover.
The cover was the boom.
And Peter says it. Peter says
G.I. Joe's
probably going to get another 1 in 100 cover featuring a Joe.
Well, I think it's cool that they're going two different ways. Like you've got the combined universe, and then you've got a continuation of G.I. Joe 300, just going right into continuing Larry.
Why fix what isn't broke is what they're
exactly.
You know what I mean?
So smart.
Yep.
So smart.
Yep.
And Hasbro has a huge. Hasbro
I just want that Cobra Commander joint.
Yes.
Is this his first solo?
I completely agree with you. Yeah, I think it's his first solo. You better. Sam said it earlier. He's buying a lot of foils. I need a Cobra Commander foil.
Listen,
it's gonna be so cheesy, but I would buy the hell out of that.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Both forms of Cobra Commander.
Right.
Well, he has 3 forms, but both forms could be a foil. Oh,
it'd be great.
The helmet. Yep. The body armor.
Yep.
The only one that couldn't was the hoodie.
I love the helmet. You gotta have the helmet.
Yeah. For sure. So I'm all in on that.
All right. I took us down on another route.
Yeah, that's cool. Sam said his piece. We could talk all night. That is what it is. I want to remind everyone. Listen, if you didn't watch the show on YouTube, that's cool. Do us a favor. Jump over to YouTube at some point in time and just click a view on the video.
Subscribe.
Thumb it up. Thumb it down. Subscribe. It will really help out. Comic Sense will really help out. Help us grow as a platform. So please take the time. Just jump over to the YouTube channel. Click on the video. Watch it for a couple seconds. If you watched it on Facebook, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button. That would be very helpful. That having been said, we had Comic Sam up in the house talking about all the things. Always appreciate when you're here, Comic Sam.
Oh, dude.
It's always so dope having you. Love kicking it with you. Ian jumped in. Shout out to Ian. As always, shout out to the Comic Sense community, crowd, crew. You guys and girls are why we do this. This has been CSP, Comic Sensory Perception. I am Issue X, and we up out of here.